Yes, it is me. Or is it I? So, it's been a while. It's been quite a while, about a year. Yeah. Well, I don't know if you can really tell, because it's still kind of the same, but I am in a different room, in a different house, in a different state. Still in the same country though, so there's that. So 2014 was quite a year. I'm just gonna tell you about it. On the very first day of 2014, we were in Missouri, visiting family, and we drove to another place in Missouri where we thought we might possibly be moving. And if you didn't know, at that point I lived in Texas, and there was this church in this town that contacted my dad and asked him if he would possibly consider going out for a job. If you didn't know, I'm a PK, preacher's kid. That was the very first day in January. The rest of January, I started rehearsals for not one, but 2 plays. The play was with my art academy, Artios Academies, which is a fine arts academy for homeschoolers, and we were doing I Remember Mama. I was playing Mama, who is a Norwegian mama. You could get the mama part from the title. The other play is just, just a little play. It's, you might have heard of it. It's called Les Miserables. So yeah, I got to be in it. I got to play Eponine, so yeah, I mean, it's alright. No. Yeah. Got up so far, possibly moving 2 plays at once. Okay, moving on to February. Very first of February, the first week, we went to Disney World. It was the very first time I've ever been to Disney World. If you want to know what I thought about it, basically I have a video that I made, and it seriously is the most wonderful place on earth. Right after we got back from Disney World, I turned 17, and then probably the same-ish week we came back to this town in Missouri where we could possibly be moving. He came for a weekend to preach and let the church vote and all that stuff. At this point, we hadn't told anyone. Go home, and I go back to Artios, go back to rehearsals for everything, and then I also have an interview for an internship that I had applied for. And also in February, we found out that we were indeed going to be moving to Missouri from Texas, where we lived for 6 years. So February was it's a big month. Moving on to March. March was when we started telling everyone that we were moving, and as I mentioned before, I was in 2 really important plays. Me and my mom, we couldn't leave just right in the middle of the semester. There was just too many things that we just couldn't drop. I also had a piano recital coming up. Just to get you caught up, moving, 2 plays, piano recital, internship. Somewhere in there, fit school. I found out in March that I got the internship. Super duper exciting. Dad actually moved in March to Missouri so he can go ahead and start his job, and me and my mom stayed behind to finish out the school year into April. At that point, most of our furniture was moved. We didn't have a fridge, we didn't have a washer and dryer. I had my furniture in my room and the fold-out couch for my mom to sleep on, and the piano, because I had a piano recital. I had prom in April, so that was cool. And then May. The first 2 weekends of May were my performances for Les Mis, and Les Mis was honestly one of the best experiences of my life. I learned so much. I am so glad that I got to tell Eponine's story. I respect her so much as a character, and I just really love the story. It was my last play with the theater that I started going to when I was 11. I had to say goodbye to that theater and to all the people there that had watched me grow and fall in love with acting. And then the next week was my performances for I Remember Mama. It was my last performance, my last play with Artios, and I still say Artios was the best thing that ever happened to me. And that week I had to say goodbye to Artios. Then later that week, we packed up everything else, said goodbye to my friends and family, and moved to Missouri. Whew! I was here for about a week, enough time to get my room done. And then May 31st, I flew out to Georgia for the internship, where I would be gone a whole month. So I was an intern for Artios Outpost, which is a drama camp slash film camp, and we had 1 week of training in Georgia, 2 camps in Georgia, 1 camp in South Carolina, and then we got to go home for a week. So I was gone away from home for 4 weeks, and then I came home for a week, and then we drove to Texas for the Artios Outpost camp in Texas. This is now the 2nd week of July. And then we were in Texas for a week, and then we went to Colorado for our very last camp. And then we had a intern fun week. I went whitewater rafting and climbed sand dunes and summited a mountain, and that was just like a little tiny bit of what Artios Outpost was. I made some of the best friends I've ever made in my life. I realized how much I loved teaching theater, and I had the best time ever. I learned a lot. It was a lot of hard work and really tiring because it's 5 days a week from 8 to whenever you go to sleep, because you don't really ever stop working. and it's for 5 weeks. I learned more than I could have ever thought I could ever learn. This is my team. Aren't they cool? We got to wear traffic cone shirts. They're really orange. So when we went home the end of July, August, I finally got to settle into this house, this room. We moved into this tiny town. We have a Dollar General and 2 gas stations. That's about it. Also adjusting to, I've been so heavily involved in theater that whole year, and just cutting it off cold turkey. So I was home about a month. My mom and I decided we wanted to do a kids Christmas program. I was going to be the director. This is my first time directing, completely just me in charge. I also choreographed and also acted in it. And so I had this group of about 25 kids, and we started working on it in September, and we worked every Wednesday and some extra rehearsals until December. And then we had our performance. It was amazing. I'm super proud. One of my students, or pupils, whatever you want to call them, gave me this picture for Christmas. Isn't that sweet? I also got my first teacher card. Dear Bethany, thank you for being my teacher in the play. You have been a great teacher and a good friend. I hope you will be my teacher from now on. That was for me. So yeah, that was a very quick review of 2014. That was very fast. I feel like I have a head rush now or something, or whiplash. So now it's 2015. I graduate this year. I go to college this year. Wonder what else is gonna happen. I got to meet Uncle Si. Side note,